With a name like the Suicide Squad, you should expect characters to die. That's kind of just part of this group and part of the Suicide Squad as a team. People are going to die. We saw it in the first movie, not too much, but it's going to be even more happening in this sequel. And James Gunn keeps teasing that with like, don't get too attached, because if you get too attached to these characters, then boom, they're dead and bye-bye. So that's one of the reasons that there's such a huge cast for this movie, which is awesome because you got some great actors and actresses working on this movie, but most of their characters are going to die. And yesterday, James Gunn went to Twitter and had a little back and forth and had some conversations with some fans asking about how many people exactly are going to die. And he didn't give us an exact number, but he said more than 7, which means at least 8 main characters will die. And this makes sense because from what we know about this movie, there's going to be at least 2 different teams of the Suicide Squad. There's going to be one at the beginning, and most of that team is probably going to die. And then we'll have our secondary team come in as backup. So let's go through and let's figure out who we think could be this at least 8 characters that will die in this movie. So let's start off with the most obvious ones from that first Suicide Squad. Blackguard, definitely. Javelin, probably Weasel, unfortunate, but Weasel's gotta go. Savant, probably TDK. Mongal, and I really don't want it to happen, but I feel like Captain Boomerang probably will die, and it's really unfortunate. So that's pretty much the first squad that we're having here. Pretty much everybody on that first version of the Suicide Squad in this movie, minus Harley Quinn and Rick Flag, will probably die. So that's what I'm thinking there. So that is 7 right there. But he said more than 7. So makes sense because they're not just going to kill off most of the first squad and then not kill off anybody else for the rest of the movie. So members from our main squad of this movie will die as well, which is to be expected. Now the only question is which ones. Now I don't know, because I don't really think anybody is safe. Really the only 2 characters that I think there's no chance of them dying are Harley Quinn and King Shark, because Harley Quinn, she's such a big, popular character. There's so much you can do with her in the future, especially with like maybe a Gotham City Sirens movie, or explore her relationship more with the Joker. There's a lot you can do with that character, and just kill her off. There's no way they're going to do that with the popularity of that character. And then King Shark, everybody loves him. So many people would be mad if King Shark died, because he's just so cool. King Shark's awesome. Everybody fell in love with him after the first trailer, so if he dies, people are going to be mad. So those are the only 2 people that I think are really, really safe. Then we have other characters like the Thinker that I think most likely will die, unfortunately. I'd love to see him continue in the DCU and maybe go on to be a Flash movie villain or something like that. But just from what we've seen from that character in this movie, I have a feeling he's probably going to be one of the characters that die. And then Ratcatcher 2, I think she probably will survive, but then again, nobody's safe. Same goes for Bloodsport. I'm not completely sure on him. Maybe he'll actually sacrifice himself for Ratcatcher 2, because as we saw in the trailer, he and her are going to have some sort of special close relationship and connections, so I feel like maybe one of them will die. But then this brings me to the big thing here of Rick Flag and Peacemaker, because neither one of them are safe. Peacemaker, you may be thinking, oh, but he has his HBO Max series, but that's a prequel, so even if he dies here, that would mean nothing about, it's a prequel, so it doesn't matter if he dies. And we've seen in the trailer that there's going to be some sort of fight and battle between Rick Flag and Peacemaker, so I feel like maybe that could possibly be a fight to the death, so I don't know who would win that. Either one could go, maybe even both of them. We'll have to wait and see. And then there's also Polka Dot Man, who I like that character. I don't want him to die, and I feel like he could. Maybe he'll make a cool sacrifice or something. But at the same time, I feel like it would be interesting if maybe he doesn't die, because as we saw in the first trailer, he actually wants to die. So it would be pretty interesting if the one character that wants to die is one of the few that doesn't. I think that would be really interesting to see if that could be how things turn out for that character. But again, nobody is safe except probably Harley Quinn and King Shark. So yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. What do you think about this news? Who do you think will die in the Suicide Squad? It's going to be at least 8 members. And what characters do you think are definitely not going to die? Like I said, I think Harley Quinn and King Shark, but I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video and hit the subscribe button so I can keep you up to date on everything that goes on in the DC life.